Ability, to say, is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do, and attitude determines how well you do it. Regardless, you're going to face some challenges while at it. And as student workers, although our challenges may be relative, that's to say, what you may go through may differ from mine, there's definitely going to be certain similarities. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you 8 challenges students workers do face and how to resolve or cope with them. Yeah, so don't go nowhere. So the first thing I'm going to share with you guys would be Uneasy career path. Now, in terms of career path, I'm sure if you're in school, probably when you are doing your undergraduate, you are still not done with school, and so you basically don't really know which career path you're going to choose. But in most cases, those who are students who actually work find themselves doing works that are contrary to the courses they are offering in school. So say you're offering business in school, and then you're working in, say, an architectural field, or you are working in a science related field. So like there's 2 different things here. When it happens like that, it's actually challenging. You move from one extremely different environment, and then you find yourself in another environment altogether, doing 2 different things at the same time. And it is a major challenge, guys. It is one of the challenges students who work face a lot. So if you're unfortunate and you're teaching, say you're teaching English, and you are an IT student, I mean, there's no relationship between the 2 of them. Probably, definitely, you're going to use English to teach IT, but then there's still no, significant relationship between the 2, and so it's a challenge to most, students who are workers or working students. So guys, when you find yourself in situations such as this, you have to know what really works for you, because chances are you may end up falling in love with your current job, and because of that, after your first degree, you come back to study another course that is in relation to what you were actually working or what you were actually doing while working. Going back to school to actually study a particular course that is in relation to the job is not, it's not a strange thing, because I know of a lot of friends who are in certain fields, and then along their I think national service, during their national service, they got to love what they were doing or the field they were given, and in turn went back to school to study, something that was in relation to that particular field, and they are doing great in that particular field. So it's not bad, and it's not strange to try something else if this particular one you're doing currently doesn't really work out for you. So you have to know what you really want and what works for you, and see how best you could make sure both doesn't conflict with each other, especially if you're going to stick with what you are doing. So I'm going to use myself for an example. Right now I'm into real estate, and I'm an IT student. So you can see like there's a vast difference, in these 2 fields. But then I make sure that whatever I'm doing at work doesn't interfere with whatever I'm doing in school. So I don't bring my IT staffs here except I need it here, and I don't send my real estate staffs to school because, there's no need. Except, of course, I fall in love with, this whole real estate thing, which I kind of am, then probably along the way I could come back and learn a course or 2 on that. like to gain some sort of professional certificate along the way. So yeah, basically that's how you could actually cope with this particular challenge. I don't know how you've been doing yours, so if you have another way of actually tackling a challenge similar to this, kindly let us know in the comment section. The second obvious challenge is the challenge of internship and attachment constraints. Guys, so you are working and at the end of the month you receive something to support yourself, and then you get to be told from your school authorities that you're supposed to embark on a compulsory attachment or internship for a couple of weeks. It could be even months, and it's compulsory. So in this case, what do you do, especially when your field or your work at the time has nothing to do with the course or your field of study? What do you do? That's another challenge most working students or student workers actually face. So say I am currently here now and I'm supposed to do an attachment or an internship as an IT student. That means I have to find a corporation or institution or a company that actually, who are into IT and get to do my attachments there. What happens to my current job? What becomes of me? Will I still be paid whilst I'm away? Is it going to be like I would have to resign to do that attachment or internship? Or my boss is going to be like, oh, don't worry, you can take, 2 months to do your internship and I'm still going to give you your salary in full. Can I hear an amen to that? It doesn't happen, guys. It's possible. Everything is possible, but you don't, hear of these things on a daily. And this is another challenge working students actually get to face. So how do we resolve something like this? It's hard, but it's either you speak to the school authorities or you speak with your boss or the head of HR or something. There should be a particular ground you guys could negotiate to or, agree on. Probably you could lay all the cards on the table. They could tell you to maybe work a week here, a week there, 3 days here, 2 days there. There should be some sort of arrangements, guys. So get to talk about it, talk to your bosses about it, talk to your school authorities about it, and I'm sure there would be a common ground you could work around with. If not, then I don't know. If you have any, ideas to share with us concerning this particular point, kindly do that in the comment section. Please do that. Okay, so my third point is going to be breach in work culture. Now, every company or every organization have their own working cultures or work culture. They have their own values, aims, objectives, goals, and stuff like that. Now, if you're a student worker or a worker student and you find yourself in any such organizations, chances are you would not always meet their aims, their values, their objectives, or their cultures. And you may find yourself wanting, especially if you have a very demanding job or you have targets to meet and you have a strict compliance status at work. Okay, it is one challenge student workers face, because you don't always get to obey the rules at work. You don't always get to do what is required of you, in total perfection, because you have other commitments and engagements as well, which are equally demanding. And so when you find yourself in such a situation, one thing you have to take note of is that at the end of the day, you didn't employ yourself. So do what must be done when it must be done. Try as much as possible. And if you are not able to actually meet certain, cultures, goals, aims, and all of that, try and seek permission or talk to your HR or your boss or something. Talk to them, let them know that this and this is why you are not. And a lot of people actually take advantage of the fact that my boss is cool, the head of HR is so friendly and stuff like that, or probably, he's my crush or he's crushing on me and stuff. So you take advantage of that. When you're given one chance, you take it to the other chance, and you add another chance, and you add another chance. Guys, be smart and wise about this, okay? You don't always get to get it like free like that. So, apply wisdom. You get it? Another challenge would be relationship constraints. Before I move on to that particular challenge, let me address this. Student workers have different student timetables. Some student workers are regular students, others are evening students, some work on weekends. So I don't know which one you fall into, but whichever challenge you face, it's going to be peculiar. That means the kind of challenges somebody who is a regular student and works face would definitely be different from somebody who is a weekend student and is working, or somebody who is an evening student and is working. Okay, so the challenges are peculiar. Now back to the challenge of relationship constraints. Now imagine you're working with a team and you find yourself always seeking permission, because you have to submit projects, you have to go and do presentations, you have to do this and this, blah, blah, blah. And your team are always behind, probably watching your back and stuff like that. For how long are they going to do that for? Okay, so it's very difficult, and it ruins a lot of relationships. Some people will feel like, oh, it's because you are the boss's favorite, or you have some special favors, or you've been given some special favors to your boss or something. Okay, it interferes with the relationship a colleague and colleagues are supposed to have at work, or bosses are supposed to have with you, their employee. Now imagine you always go to your boss and say, I need permission to go and do a presentation on campus. The next day, sir, please, I need to go meet my project partners for blah, blah, blah. The next day, sir, we have a quiz and blah, blah, blah. The next day, which boss can actually take all of that? So you get it. It actually affects the kind of relationship you have with your colleagues and, boss as well. In this situation, the only thing you can actually do is to make time to make up for your lost times. So say you were supposed to do some things and you were not able to because you had to leave the office early to attend school, and due to that you got a colleague to help you with it. Find time to make up for that. You could reciprocate it. You could do something extra. Okay, so during those times you're not going to school or having presentations and stuff like that, you could even choose or decide to work extra hours to actually, cover up for the missing time or the times you actually missed out on stuff in the office. Do you get it? Yeah, so that's what you could probably do, except of course you also have some ideas you would like to share with us. Can you leave them in the comment section? I'll be grateful. Guys, most working students have a messed up life. Like, the life is so imbalanced. It's always one way. You come to work. You move to campus, school. By the time you get home, you're exhausted. You go to bed, wake up the next day, you are you are at work. Right after work, you're in school. Depending on your schedule or session as a student. Okay, so it's actually a bit frustrating. You don't have a me life. You don't have friends kind of life. You are always either all to yourself or in your room somewhere, because once you're not at work and you're not in school, chances are you are supposed to take care of your home or do certain things you were not able to do in the course of those engagements. So there's no time to chill. But you can't take life too serious, guys. You can't afford to take life too seriously. So make time, guys, make time. What you can do at this point is to prioritize, prioritize. Know the kind of people you would hang out with, who would, make you come back home at a reasonable time so you don't get sleeping hangovers at work or in school. Yes, manage your time, know what to prioritize first, and whilst at it, have fun, engage, get to meet new people. Don't be like me. Oh, guys, yeah. We can talk about the challenges student workers face without talking about financial constraints. Most student workers in this part of the world, Ghana to be precise, are people who are independent. Most of them, they are independent. That means they cater for their fees, their day-to-day lifestyle. They cater for their apartments and other related stuffs. So in a situation whereby you are an undergraduate or you're still in school pursuing your degree, diploma, whatever it is, and for the most part it's difficult to get students who are not done with their degree being paid about 2,000 plus. It's difficult. So in that situation, you're supposed to manage from your very little earnings at the end of the month, because mostly people who are in school and are working some of them earn less than 1,000 Ghana cedis a month, and it's within the same money that you are supposed to save and pay fees, pay your rent, what have you, and all of that. So the financial constraints for students who are working or workers who are students is grave, and in this situation, you either find yourself other stuff to do, like you can't stick to one thing, you can gain from one thing, but then the question comes as the time you are actually using to work and school card, they reach you. And then you're not thinking of what else to do. So in this case, probably the weekends could work. Put your talents to work. If it's singing you do, maybe you could sing somewhere and probably you'll be blessed with, something small. If it is sewing you do during the weekends, if you are an evening student during the weekend, you can do something proactive. You can search, for jobs online and try to, do them during the weekend and stuff like that. You may never know, because it's difficult to, live like from that one income. It is difficult. This brings me to my last but one point, which is it's difficult for student workers to actually save. Here is a case you're financially independent for the most part and you want to save. How much at all are you going to save? Supposing you're even earning 1,000 cedis, how much is your transportation to and from work, to and from school? And back to work, from work to school, and back from school. All of these things come to play. And if you are not lucky and you are catering for your other siblings, relatives, and probably you are even married, because we have student workers who are actually married, how do you cope with that? What do you do? So it's quite difficult to save as student workers, except of course your job is extremely lucrative or very lucrative and you could cater for all of these things, and at the end of the day you get to save something as well. Without that, it's difficult. My final point is going to be workers who are students or student workers have a very long to-do list. Guys, the to-do list for work is different from that of school and it's different from that at home. And if you are a married person, who it's different from your marriage rules and duties as well. So live a day at a time, guys. You can't do everything at a go. Do what must be done when you have to, and do it and do it well. Don't kill yourself. Seek permission when you have to. Try as much as possible to read books. That's what keep you going. And note this: whatever you sow, you will definitely read. You will definitely reap. So, guys, sow your seeds and sow them wisely. Whichever seed it is, however you understand it, sow them and you reap them wisely. Hey. Sow them and you would reap it. You reap them someday. You know, a lot of people actually say education doesn't make you successful, or the fact that you attain and achieve a lot or a number of degrees doesn't show or prove you're going to be very successful in life. Yes, to an extent I agree, but then all those who went through life without all these degrees are the same people who are employing people with degrees to work for them. Why are they not employing people without degrees to work for them? So you get the math. That means there's definitely a requirement at every stage and point in life. And you don't want to, be behind, to lose certain opportunities that will present itself to you along the way. Grab every opportunity you get and make good use of it. So, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you learned something. I hope you could relate to some of the challenges. And I hope you get to share with your friends and loved ones so they can also learn something. Please leave a comment in the comment section. Let me pick this from Marintia Etiko. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation of her name. Marintia will say that, guys, if you don't chat with me, it's like I'm the only one doing the talking and talking and talking. Your comments it helps me know how I am doing. It helps me know what you're thinking about, and it pushes me to do more. So guys, please leave a comment, okay, and share when you can. I'm a person. Share or we share. Anyways, thank you so much. If today happens to be the first time you're watching my channel, I appreciate you. Kindly subscribe and leave a comment in the comment section. Share with your loved ones and friends. If you're a returning viewer, I love you. I love you so much. And thank you, guys. We have a long way to go, but then steady and sure. Something. I forgot it. Until my next video, don't forget to do you, and do you. Bye-bye.